you are a damn good clinician yourself. You get amazing feedback from your patients. It's clear to me and your friends why that is. You've got a lot of really interesting ideas on health. And again, you've got a proven track record of getting people better over and over again. So I would love for you to share, Ayan Panja, some of your top tips for the listeners of my podcast.
I think you summed it up in the last hour. But I think it's interesting because we've talked a lot about behaviour change, and that to me is something that doctors don't talk about enough. So I don't want to talk about, drink more water and, because all that stuff is logical and people know that stuff. What I would say is try and understand what makes you tick. So in terms of behaviour change, there are so many categories. I've had one myself recently, so I've given up caffeine. And if you'd asked me 6 weeks ago whether I thought I could live without coffee, I would say no way, because I love the smell of it, the taste of it, making it, and in every morning, like an addict almost, I would get down the stairs and the first thing I would do is put the kettle on. And how I managed to stop that was what I call a happy accident. So I forgot to have it one morning, and I'd got to the end of the afternoon and thought, I haven't had any caffeine today. And I thought, but I feel okay. Maybe I'll try it tomorrow. And I felt fine the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And actually, I feel better off it. And unlike with your story, it hasn't impacted any other habits of mine. So what I would say to anyone listening to this is, if you have any happy accidents that change your behavior, then capitalize on it. So a lot of people find this with irritable bowel syndrome. They suddenly run out of milk or orange juice and they don't drink it for a week. And they're like, oh, do you know what? I think it was milk all along that is causing my IBS. It's a happy accident. So going a bit off key here, but so that's one thing. The other is about not waiting. So we talked on the phone the other day a bit about this, but the unthinkable happens, or something tragic happens, like your best friend dies of cancer or has a heart attack, and that triggers behavior change. What I would say is those two things are poles apart. They're both things that trigger behavior change, but you do not want to wait till that second one happens. You can do it now. And I think focusing on some of the themes that you've written in this book are essential. Working out how you tick, what makes you tick, is really the essence of how happy you are, how healthy you are, and will affect the rest of your life. I think particularly when people are younger, and I see a lot of my patients who have addictions, they don't know why they have them. To me, it's sort of, I wouldn't say it's obvious, but I can see through their life story why they've ended up in a position where they're gambling, or they're drinking too much, or they keep getting into trouble. But everyone has the ability to slightly unpick that. And I think that's my one tip, is just think about your behaviors, think about what makes you tick, and understand that you do have the ability to change them, and you can take control.